Today's show is sponsored by
Microjig. Work safer. Work smarter.
and Art Resin.
Today we're going to make a 3D layer photo using Photoshop, a couple of 8x10 prints made from one image, and a new epoxy resin that I think you're going to like. Check it. I'm going to show you how to make this 3D layered photograph of my dog. It involves taking one image, cutting out the background and making a print from that, and another print from the foreground image. In this example, I'm making the frame from scratch, but you could easily take an existing frame and do this as long as the depth is over a ½ inch. This will allow a reservoir for all the epoxy that we're about to use. And speaking of epoxy, I'm using a new product called Art Resin, and I am loving it. Unlike most two-part epoxies, Art Resin is free of VOCs, has no fumes, and is safe. It's super clear and easy to use. This is now my go-to epoxy for all my kitchen-based woodworking projects. Art Resin has tons of cool ideas and uses for it on their website. There will be a link down below. Alright, less talking, more making. Let's begin.
I'll start off with this photo of my dog in Photoshop. I'll remove the background and export this version. Then I'll remove the foreground and clone in the empty space. You won't need to fill the entire image like I did, as most of that won't be seen upon completion. You just need to clone around the border of the selection. I'll then export out this second image and send them both off to the photo lab for printing. Now I'll cut 1½ inch strips that'll be used for my frame. Then I'll cut a rabbet that'll hold a 3/16 inch piece of plywood that'll be used for the back. I'll cut all the miters using my miter sled. You can watch a video on how to build that sled here. Using nothing more than painter's tape, I'll glue the 4 pieces together. Then I'll cut out the plywood for the back and glue it in place. To keep the epoxy from seeping through, I'll use a few strips of tape on the back. I'll apply a little bit of glue to hold the background photo in place. Spray adhesive would probably work best, but I happen to be out. I'll then thoroughly mix equal parts of the epoxy and coat the background image. You'll want to mix enough resin to add about 1/4 inch on top of the photo. The more you add, the greater the 3D effect. By blowing on the surface, you'll raise all the bubbles. You can speed up the process by using a heat gun or butane cooking torch. Making sure it's level, I'll let it dry for a few hours. I'll then cut out the foreground image and place it right on top of the partially cured epoxy resin. Mix up another batch and pour it right on top. As before, make sure it's level. Bring all the air bubbles to the surface and cover it, protecting it from dust while it dries for at least 24 hours. Add some finish and some hanging hardware and you're all done.
This project came out way cooler than I thought. It really does have a 3D effect and it looks awesome in person. I'd like to try another project like this and do 3 layers next time. If you have any ideas for a 2 or 3 layered photo, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what you would do on a project like this. If this is your first time here, I make all kinds of fun tutorials, so I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you're into audio podcasts, I have one called Making It, where Jimmy DiResta, Bob Claggett, and myself discuss the mental process of being a maker, and we release a new episode every Friday. And every Tuesday, I release the weekly wrap-up, where I pick out my favorite videos from the maker community of the past week and highlight them while having a beer. You can check out the latest one here. I really enjoy making these videos for you, and this is how I pay the bills. If you would like to support all the free content I provide, you can do so by becoming a Patreon and donating $1 or $2 a month. It really helps and allows me to share my knowledge and experience. Thank you all for sticking around to the end of this video and supporting me. It means a lot. Be safe, stay passionate, and make something.